Season 3 of Modern Warfare 3 is bringing back a ton of fan favorites. The lethal and cunning Makarov, the main Modern Warfare 3 villain, an incredibly shady corporation we're all familiar with, some classic Call of Duty maps, and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. But like any great adventure story, there are plenty of twists and turns that take these old fan favorites in a totally new direction. So let's go ahead and dive in by talking about some of the brand new maps we're getting this season. And as a matter of fact, we're actually getting 6 this season. We're getting 6 Star, which is an incredible 6-star resort on top of a skyscraper in Dubai, which is actually a real place Call of Duty based level off of. And a matter of fact, invited a bunch of YouTubers to actually go stay at this hotel and experience it before Season 3 dropped. We're also getting Emergency, a isolated medical center overlooking a town in Arizona. It has some signs of fierce fighting, and the disease control center is somehow involved in this, which is kind of weird because they're usually just pencil pushers. We also got Grow House, which is a remake of the Season 3 Vanguard map, Sphere, except our current version is a growing facility for narcotics and probably has some type of tie-in to the Los Alamos cartel. We also got Tanked. The Vondel Zoo got turned into a multiplayer map. However, this map is mainly one story, except for a small section that is 2-story. So it'll be lots of ground fighting and fighting through a lot of exhibits. So go ahead and check out Harambe while you're there, if that dude's still around today. Moving on. And Call of Duty is trying to pack as much as they can into this season because this is the last major update for Modern Warfare 3. And I'll explain that a little bit more in a minute. But we also have 4 new game modes coming to the game. We have Capture the Flag. You have to take the enemy's flag and run it back to your home base to score a point. Or the enemy will take your flag and run it back to their home base. First team to 3 points wins, and there is a little bit of a time limit on this, but it will also be adjusted based on how many times you capture the flag. We also have One in the Chamber. One in the Chamber gives you 1 bullet to kill an enemy. It's a one-hit kill, but if you miss, you have to go melee the enemy. And you get another bullet only if you kill an enemy. So basically, it's a 1-for-1 trade-off. And the first person to get to 18 kills wins the game. Next, we have Minefield, which is an interesting twist on a Call of Duty game mode we're all familiar with. It's basically a team deathmatch, but proximity mines drop at the enemy's feet when you kill them. These proximity mines will be able to be activated by both teams, meaning that both teams can be affected by these proximity mines, and the more people who die, the more mines scattered around the map. It'll be definitely an interesting game mode, and I'm excited to try that out for sure. We're also getting Escort. You escort a MW rolling drone from objective to objective. While there is a time limit on this game, there is no lives limit. So it only matters that you get it within the time period, and there is an overtime as long as you are advancing the drone forward. So you gotta keep that in mind when playing it. But that's not all. Call of Duty is also introducing a Vortex map playlist. Now these Vortex maps are kind of zombified or apocalyptic versions of maps you already have in Modern Warfare 3. So Call of Duty is releasing an entire playlist just centered around these maps. And on top of all of this, Call of Duty is adding 6 new perks and equipment to Modern Warfare 3 Season 3. We're getting the Gunslinger Vest, which basically means you're not using a primary, you're only using 2 secondary weapons. You get maximum ammo and faster weapon swap, but you only have secondaries. We're getting the Modular Assault Rig, which is a new vest that you start with max ammo, and you get the Scavenger perk for lethal and tactical grenades. So if you're somebody who likes to use grenades a lot in Modern Warfare 3, this might be the vest for you. We're also getting the Compression Carrier. Now this one is kind of overpowered. You get assisted healing and gas resistance, and you immediately regenerate health after a kill or when on an objective scoring points. So this means that you can basically get a lot faster heals and immediate regeneration on health as soon as you do well. So some of these pro players you see in games are probably going to be running this when they're not using ranked mode. We're also getting the Reinforced Boots. The Reinforced Boots make you immune to movement reduction effects. Stun grenades, crippling ammo, anything like that has no effect on you when you have reinforced boots, because you have steel rods in your boots, and somehow that makes it impossible to be stunned or be affected by a stun grenade. Don't explain the math to me on that or the science, because I don't understand. We're also getting the High Gain Antenna. This is a zoomed out minimap for you and gives you extra information when a teammate who has the comms vest picks up pieces of information from the enemy's dead bodies. We're getting the EMD mine, which is a proximity mine that sticks to any surface and will automatically detonate when an enemy gets near it. However, it only launches trackers at the enemy, so it reveals their position to you, but it doesn't actually cause them any damage. We're also getting the Enhanced Vision Goggles. They're a new field upgrade that highlights the enemy targets in a red outline and kind of blurs out some of the non-important things in a map. This will be great for Resurgence and Battle Royale, and I'm not really sure if there's going to be a lot of use in multiplayer, but maybe it might be helpful in Search and Destroy. As far as zombies, we're not getting a lot at launch with Modern Warfare 3 zombies. Well, we're not getting anything at launch. We're getting a bunch in the mid-season update though. We will see more zombies with a new chapter return, new rifts, a new warlord, and it will kind of explore what happened to Ava Jensen when she went into the Dark Ether. We're also getting 3 new items for Call of Duty Zombies. The Dead Wire Detonator, which basically gives you the dead wire bullet mod for launchers and lethals. We're getting the golden mask filter, which is a long-lasting, self-regenerating gas mask for the whole match, which is great for when you go into the rifts or you're in kind of the zombie strongholds that have lots of gas, because it'll automatically regenerate itself when you're outside of those zones, and while you're in those zones, it'll regenerate just not as fast. So it gives you a great opportunity to kind of throw this mask on and go do some of those harder rifts. And we're also getting the Sergeant's Beret, which is kind of a weird little field upgrade we're getting with the zombies. It's a red beret that disguises you from the Zakhaev mercs that you have to deal with. It also gives you a bodyguard, because apparently anyone with a red beret gets a free bodyguard who will help you out for the entirety of the match, can't die, and will go all the way with you until exfil, when he'll stay on the ground while you leave, because you have a red beret, and that makes you very special. Now, Warzone had possibly the biggest news out of everything in this update. First off, Rebirth Island is coming back. So Kony took over the island from the Russians and put up propaganda, their own machinery, and converted a lot of stuff on the island to suit their needs, including gas manufacturing. So there's underground and underwater tunnels with shoreline access all around the map. So you're gonna be able to swim under the map and get from point A to point B without anyone seeing you, except for the other people in the tunnels. And at the beginning of the match, the prison is going to get hit by an airstrike like it did during Cold War's time with Rebirth Island. All of Rebirth Island's structures and buildings got a new coat of paint and a bunch of new changes to them, except for the showers in the bottom of the prison. They're still atrocious, and I would not shower in them if it meant that I was on fire and that was the only way to put them out. I would rather burn than use those showers. They are disgusting. And on top of this, Call of Duty has hinted that there is some underground bunkers around Control Center that might give you a hint about what's going on with the island and what Makarov's been doing on Rebirth Island since we last saw him. However, in my humble opinion, the most important thing that Rebirth Island is getting is the Champion's Quest contract. This contract allows you to nuke the map and win the game immediately on the condition that you've already won 5 consecutive games in a row or 50 total matches on this map. That means you have to get first place, not a top 10. This is the only way to start the Champion's Quest contract, and when doing so, you have to collect a bunch of different elements, put them together, make a dirty bomb, and blow up the entirety of Rebirth Island. So we're gonna have a cool new cinematic coming with that. As far as Warzone as a whole, we're getting a new utility box which refills all of your armor, tacticals, grenades, and ammo. We're getting a new kill streak called Foresight, which allows you to see all of the zones through the rest of the map all the way to the finish, from 1 to 8. And last but not least, we're getting the Specialist perk coming in season at some point along the lines. But Rebirth Island's brought a new feature I'm pretty excited for myself. The biometric scanner. The scanner tells you the stats about how you're doing in the game currently and gives you one of 6 varieties of a keycard based on your performance. You get bronze, silver, gold, platinum, polyatomic, and Orion. And these can unlock a specialty screen in the buy station to buy exclusive rewards, with some of them even being free depending on the higher the level you get. If you get to use the same scanner in games over and over again, meaning the same match or in multiple matches over and over again, you'll actually get an exclusive bonus for this. And the thing that I find really cool about Warzone, which is something that we've all kind of just wanted to see, is dynamic weather conditions. There's going to be 3 weather conditions for Rebirth Island you can counter. You can counter overcast, sunset, or regular crystal clear blue skies. And one thing that Call of Duty is really trying to promote with this new season is playing as a team in Battle Royale and in Rebirth Resurgence. So one of the things they're adding is a brand new drop zone effect. It's a bonus for when you drop together. The first person to hit the ground will have a small radius around them on the map that only you and your team can see, gives you an XP bonus as long as you'll land all within this radius. And the kind of really interesting thing that Call of Duty has hinted at, but not explained too much, is a new Easter egg on Rebirth Island. This new Easter egg will allow you to kind of explore the map and see what Kony was really doing on the map, as well as giving you exclusive gun camo and exclusive weapons that only be found on Rebirth Island. Something I'm pretty excited for myself. But speaking of weapons, we're also getting 4 new weapons this season, 2 of which were invented by the Atlas Corporation, who many of y'all remember from Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And Advanced Warfare has a bunch of overarching themes that we're going to see throughout the season at different points, mainly revolving around that mid-season update. There's some leaks that I have to confirm, but keep in mind this mid-season update might bring you back Advanced Warfare, just not in the way you're expecting. Anyways, we're getting 4 new weapons. The FJX Horus is the brand new MP9 we're getting this season, which is going to have the best close quarters combat damage of any SMG and highest mobility, but you won't be able to hit the broadside of a barn from 10 feet away, so keep that in mind. We're also getting the 2 advanced warfare weapons, the Morse sniper rifle, which is a single-shot railgun sniper with almost no bullet drop and high accuracy and high damage. If you shoot an enemy, it's going to be an instant down, but you have to reload after every single shot, so don't rely on this for anything better than long-range sniping. We're also getting the Ball 27 AR, a prototype assault rifle made by the Atlas Corporation. The first 4 shots of this gun are going to be highly accurate, and past that you're going to get a really wide spread of recoil. So those first 4 shots are best for breaking an enemy, and this might be something you use a little bit more for close range combat. And the last weapon we're getting is a Gladiator Melee, more commonly known as the push knife, resembling a certain adult toy that shall remain nameless. They are deadly and quick up close. With fast follow-ups, it's great for those kind of close-quarter combat and might be the melee weapon for Warzone and Resurgence. But Call of Duty is also introducing new aftermarket parts, those adjustments for your guns that you can make that give it some type of unique variation. We're getting 8 new ones in the season, and the first 3 we're going to get this season are the Jack Shadow Titan, which is an internally suppressed Ruin MK9 chambered in 300 blackout, making it silent and deadly. We're getting the Jack Cutthroat, which is a new M4 modification. We're not really sure what this is yet, but just keep in mind. And the Jack Revenger, which is an SMG kit for the BP-50, chambering it in 9mm and a much smaller compact design. This might be something to consider in Resurgence and Warzone, as the BP-50 was already one of those contenders for one of the best guns in this last season. And last but not least, we're getting a bunch of new operators this season. First off, we're getting Makarov. He's finally returning to Modern Warfare 3 in the Modern Warfare 3 story, so we can kind of discover what happened to him after the Modern Warfare 3 campaign. We're getting the DOGG, Snoop Dogg. He's coming back in the game because he's now been in 4 consecutive Call of Duty games, so it's kind of a no-brainer to bring him back. But as they're bringing him back this season, they're also bringing back 2 other operators who are commonly associated with smoking as much weed as Snoop Dogg, Cheech and Chong, who are both coming for the 420 event later in the season. We're also getting Banshee, who literally could have been a member of the IRA. She was raised in Dublin as the youngest of 6 children, and she originally got kicked out of the military for being a mercenary while being in the military and whacking people when she wasn't supposed to. She fits the bill for a member of the IRA. But moving on to Hush, he is a special operator who has been working for Makarov for quite a while. He started fighting in Mogadishu on the mean streets and grew up to be an excellent mercenary, as his father was a poor goat farmer. He wants to supply as much money to his family as they can, so that way they can live a rich and bountiful life for the rest of their lives. And the last operator we're getting is Stasis, the new Black Cell operator who we know absolutely nothing about, which is to be expected because we don't know anything about any of the Black Cell operators. I'm personally very excited to play as Makarov, so that way I can feel like I'm committing no Russian over and over again. But if you don't know why Makarov's return is such an important thing, check out this video I made right here talking about the ending of Modern Warfare 3, and fair spoiler warning, it contains the ending of the game. So check it out, subscribe down below to become part of the Yeti Pack, and until next time, I am Iceburgz, your Call of Duty informant. Stay frosty.